Okay, let's move on part 3 of the illumination technique. Basically, I divide the illumination technique into two parts. So let's move forward. So indirect in case of proximal illumination. What do you mean by indirect? Observation and illumination system are not focused at the same time. I have already told you what is direct. Observation and illumination system are focused at the same point. What is indirect? Observation and illumination system are not focused at the same time. Basically means you are not observing where the light is thrown. Yes, simple. Vary the angle of illumination. Yes, there is different angle of illumination. Slit beam is offset. Yes, we want to offset it, isn't it? We don't want coaxiality. We don't want copability. Okay. Low to high magnification. Yes, it's dependent upon the techniques. Beam is focused on the area adjacent to the observed. That's very important. Beam is focused on the area adjacent, nearby area of the observed. That's why it's sometimes proximal, indirect but proximal. Okay. So what do you mean by that? You throw light here, but you observe this structure. So both are throwing light at another place, observing another place. So okay, that's it. So, so there is a lot of things that we do. A lot of place iris pathology, iris expansion, epithelial vesicles, and erosion. There are a lot of diseases and a lot of conditions in which we use indirect illumination. It's like an uncountable lot of. Okay, fine. See, this is what I want to show you. So this again I have taken from this book. Great book, Slit-Lamp Examination and Photography. Great book. See, in this area, this picture, just observe this picture. Light is thrown directly at the object, at not object, at particular place where we want to look. And is it there particularly clearly you see anything? Yes, you see this. There is something, isn't it? But but whenever you use proximal retroillumination, so light is thrown back side of the lens and the light came from back, retro from back, and you see this structure, can't you clearly? So that's what I am talking about, proximal illumination. So the first picture, this picture is not exactly uh, proximal retroillumination, but this picture is really, this B picture is proximal retroillumination, which is, that's a clear distinction between the same structure seen in direct illumination and indirect illumination. And indirect illumination is way better and clearly visible things. It's actually foreign body. Okay, so let's move forward. So can you see in this case proximal illumination? This picture, even diagrammatically, can you see? This is not the proximal retroillumination; it's a direct illumination. So this is how you look. It look like, okay. So so basically, Cardona prosthesis. But now, can you see in diagrammatically, it's proximal retroillumination, and then it's visible, isn't it? This small structure also visible. The visibility of the images goes higher. That's why proximal illumination of the light is scattered behind the flange. So that's the proximal illumination. Okay. So now let's come to the retro illumination. Retro illumination. Retro means what? From backward, isn't it? Retro illumination. So retro illumination, object of regard is illuminated by the reflected light. Why reflected light? You throw light towards back of the structure. If you want to see the cornea, you can throw at iris. If you want to see the iris, you can throw it retina. If you want to see the lens, you can throw it retina, and then light comes back from the retina, then you see the structure. That's called retroillumination. So vary angle of use, moderate width beam, slit beam is offset, definitely offset, medium to high magnification, and sometimes you don't need to do offset also. It's simple. Reflected light from iris or the fundus. Basically, if you throw light to iris, then anterior structure is visible. If you throw light to fundus, then anterior than fundus you can see. Sometimes I used to show my students whenever there is a vitreous cells, and obviously in good amount of vitreous cells, if there is inflammation or anything. So I love to show them through the retroillumination, the vitreous cells. So that's fun. That's quite fun. So there are type of retroillumination. Direct means prism or mirror used to light reflect from the lens or iris directly align with the area under the object. Pathology is seen against the background, light background. Indirect prism is used to observe the between focal beam and the light reflected from the iris or lens. Pathology is seen against the dark background. That's very important. Okay, see, direct means that pathology is seen against the light background. It's important. Indirect means indirect retroillumination means pathology are seen against the dark illumination. It's very important. I'll show you. Marginal means what? Okay, prism is offset so that the light is reflected from lens or iris at the pupil margin is aligned with the area under the observer. So I'll show you what is marginal. Okay, so see, this is great picture that I love it. That I love again from this. So whenever this A is, just remember this, what is this A means? It means direct. Whenever you throw the light directly at the glass. Okay, what do you mean by B means? B means indirect illumination and indirect retroillumination, but the background is white, background is light, isn't it? Third, see, what do you mean by third? Can you see this third C picture? It's basically indirect retroillumination produced by most information of change in transformation and are not visually aligned with the background. So basically means you throw the light here, okay, and you view this particular glass. Can you see this glass has these lines, isn't it? That dirt you can see here, no, you can see here, yes, definitely not, it's very difficult. But whenever you throw light another place and then you see, can you see? Okay, let's move here. This is gold. Okay, whenever there is a dark background and the retroillumination light is shown here, dark background, can you see it's more detailed, isn't it? More detailed than C. This is more detailed. Can you see these things clearly in the dark background? That's what I'm talking about. And definitely that's what I'm talking about whenever I talked about the conical section too. You cannot see that cells in direct throwing direct light. It's, yes, it's really difficult. But whenever you make background dark, yes, it's really easy to see cells. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay, this is the concept. This is a gold picture to understand the concept. Can't you? Okay, so in this picture particularly, see, light is thrown to the iris, but this is the particular area is seeing. From iris light is reflected back and the particular area is seen. Can't you see? Light is thrown in another place, then corneal blood vessels, new vascularization can be seen here. This is the typical picture of ICL. So basically, vascularization, epithelial edema, microcyst, vacuoles, dystrophies, lens opacities, and corneal deposits, they can all seen in the retroillumination. So this is the picture. Okay, see in this particular picture, direct illumination. Can you see anything? Just like here, anything fold-like structure? No. But whenever you do see, you throw light in iris and then you see cornea. So can't you see this structure? Clear, isn't it? So that's the gold thing. So see, I'll show you this picture. This means whenever you directly throw light to the glass, which means this particular area, you are throwing light at 1A. What is 2 means? 2 means the background is clearly light. But whenever you come, background is dark. See? The visibility of this, actually I think it's foreign bodies. Isn't it clear? Isn't it clear here? Clear here? Clear here? So that's the difference. The background is white whenever you directly throw the light there, or whenever background is darker. That's really, really cold. So what do you mean by that? The one belongs to here whenever you throw the light, isn't it? This is one. Two belongs to nearby but light background. Three belongs to sideways where background is dark because here is no light. That's the concept. Just what I have explained, try to again see things differently. This picture is gold whenever you try to understand what is A, what is B, 2, what is 3. and just correlate this with 1 2 3. Okay, just pause the video and see things clearly. So that's again same thing, isn't it? 1 2 3. What is 2? There is direct illumination. See this 3 area, isn't it very good, very helpful? But in case of 4 1, you directly throw the light in cornea, but this portion is really clear, isn't it? So this is the retroillumination from, definitely from retina, isn't it? Can you see this structure? Oh, isn't it beautiful? See here, isn't it? Lens has something opacity, isn't it? Here, see the opacity in the lens. It's clear, isn't it? Yes, it's very clear. So what is sclerotic scatter? Now another what do you call it? We break the coaxiality. A tall, wide beam is directed into the limbus area, and light undergoes total internal reflection and come out from the limbus of the next side. The illuminator should be slightly off for this technique and directed to the moderate angle. So basically, means slightly off means you break the coaxiality. So 10x magnification is used, and microscope is directly straight ahead. My microscope is not doing the straight ahead, and we throw the light from the a little bit, not tangentially, but yes, little bit off center. A normal portion of cornea looks like dark. Why? Because see, light travels from this particular area into total internal reflection. If light do not exit, then how can we see this particular cornea? Cornea is invisible to us because light is not coming out from the cornea, and that's why the cornea looks dark. You cannot see cornea, it's just plain. Any opacities in the path of the light shows gray reflex, because if there is any opacity, total internal reflection would not happen, and then light escape from it. So that's why we can see easily edema in sclerotic scatter. So isn't it, if there is no edema, then light cannot be thrown out of the cornea, and there is, if there is edema, light is thrown out of the edema, isn't it? This is the concept, isn't it? Very simple. So we say corneal epithelial edema, corneal abrasion, corneal nebula, macula, nebular opacity or macular opacity, foreign body in the cornea. It's very easy. So can you see in this picture, you cannot see cornea because it's normal and the sclerotic scatter is happening. The basic concept is total internal reflection. I have taken from this very same book. So now can you see this is direct illumination? Is there anything you can visit, you can see, but can't you see here in sclerotic scatter? So sclerotic illumination, the cornea without directly illumination lens, enhancing the contrast visibility of the pattern. Can you see this pattern, this beautiful pattern here, because of the sclerotic scatter? Okay, so in this particular picture, sclerotic scatter, can you see these things, this edematous, this small thing, and whenever it zooms, can you see edematous point, punct, 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 that much clearly? It's very important that sclerotic scatter is. Okay, so now let's come to the specular reflection. So whenever yeah, definitely there is a definition in specular reflection in my optics class, but I'll not talk about it. So it produced by separating the microscope and slit beam by equal angle from the normal of the cornea. So it's quite tricky. Is it possible that you have two microscope, basically two eyepiece, has equal angle of reflection? No, not at all. It's not possible. That's what, this is the only technique that is used with monocular eyepiece. Only one eyepiece is used. Okay, so separation is 50-degree produce the best specular reflection. Yes, that's called. And the area of highly reflection, zone of specular reflection. Okay, it's very important whenever you want to see specular reflection, you always focus on the area of higher reflection. So a small zone of reflection is seen at one time. So we should instruct the patient to change the gaze so that large area can be examined. So high magnification is required because we are definitely going to examine surface, because specular means you are examining surface. So individual cells can be counted and pathology can be viewed, but it's really difficult to count in this in individual cells with 40x slit lamp. It's like almost impossible. Okay, so this is what the principle basically. Here the angle of incidence and angle of reflection is same. It's all, even in this picture shown only one microscope eyepiece. Okay, just understand, you cannot make equal angle into both eyepiece. So this is the concept. Basically, angle of incidence, angle of reflection is, so endothelial cell layer, tear film. It basically means the surface, no matter tear film surface, endothelial cell, or anterior cornea, or anterior lens, or posterior lens. No matter what, a specular reflection means you are viewing surface. Finished. So this is the great picture I have again taken from there. Can you see the light throwing from the sun, a particular smooth lake, and then specular reflection is happening? What do you mean by specular reflection? Specular reflection means parallel light comes and then it reflects from the particular surface. Surface is so smooth, it reflects, all the light reflects parallelly. What do you mean by diffuse reflex? So see, many of the students got wrong concept that they think diffuse reflection there is uh, so angle of incidence is not equals to angle of reflection. So for God's sake, that's the principle. It will never be violated. Angle of incidence is always equals to angle of reflection. But in rough surface particularly has different normals. Normals are not particularly is particular for particular point of view. There is definitely normal, but in case of smooth surface there is always normals are parallel, but in diffuse surface normal are not parallel. That's the difference. Okay, so whenever interruption is altered in the specular reflection, can you see this, what do you call this, bubble, or what do you call that, or warp? You can see this, isn't it? So that's the basic principle. So see, in this particular point, angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection, 25 degree. And from the posterior segment, see, you see all these cells, hexagonal cells, and there is a dark dot. Why it is dark dot? See, from all this area, light is reflected and comes to microscope, basically eyepiece. But at this particular area, light reflected, but not towards the eyepiece, but it reflects go away, not in this direction, but another direction, like this. Okay, so that's why you don't view light from that particular point, because that particular point do not follow the specular reflection, and that's why you always see black over there. Okay, so that's very important. Why you see black? Because no light is coming from that particular area to your eyepiece. It's very simple. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, I think I have done my particular, oh no, I'm not done. I think I have done, but okay. So it's the same thing I'm talking about this here, the anterior lens, whatever surface it is. Okay, just understand, whatever surface it is, it's very you have to understand this particular point. If there is a surface, you can see surface from specular reflection, and the principle is always same. I have taken this picture from this very same book. What is tangential illumination? So tangential illumination means the angle between slit and microscope, the illumination system and observation system, is very high. Actually, microscope is remains straightforward towards the eye. We throw the light from very tangentially towards the iris. Okay, so it is used for iris flex, tumors, and general integrity of cornea and iris. We throw light from tangentially, like from the very side of the iris. So this is a picture. Whenever you throw light from direct diffuse illumination, this is a picture schematically. But can you see, we throw light from very tangentially, and can you see this structure, particular structure, iris structure, very clearly? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so see in this picture, high magnification cropped image of pseudo exfoliation of lens capsule. Isn't it very beautiful with the tangential illumination? Yes, it's very beautiful. So there is a term with the oscillatory illumination, but I actually love this illumination technique. That's why I put it here. So also oscillatory illumination is a dynamic slit lamp technique where the slit beam is moved rapidly side to side over the structure being examined, especially for the cornea and definitely for iris, sorry, AC angle, and all the particular area. Okay, so basically slit is moved rapidly. When the slit beam is swept side by side, Any surface irregularities like opacities, deposit irregularities, contours will appear to move differently than the background or adjacent tissue. That makes subtle abnormalities more visible. It's very important. Okay, it's very important, especially whenever you try to understand endothelitis, or if there is any irregularities in the posterior surface of the cornea. It's very helpful. This technique is. So purpose is to medium to so process is medium width of slit beam, and focus on the area of interest, cornea or the lens. Rapid oscillation of joystick from left to right, and move illumination arm so that light beams sweep across the structure. Is very important. Observe the relative motion of the illuminatory structure. If there is anything you can understand, and um, by practicing this technique, you will get mastery over the time. So basically, when you use this technique, the fine opacities in the cornea or early changes in especially whenever we actually rapidly search for the what do you call that, foreign bodies too. I used to do that. Identifying the irregular surface, especially keratic precipitation on the endothelium surface, enhancing visibility of foreign bodies. Yes, distinguishing real opacities from the artifact. It's very helpful at that particular point. So I just wrote two slides. Okay, so clinical use, diagnostics. What are the use in diagnostic? Anterior segment evaluation, obviously Slit-Lamp is used. Obviously we use Goldman's epilepsy tonometry addition to the Slit-Lamp. T-bud test, yes, in Slit-Lamp. Staining, definitely, with its contact lens fitting, very helpful. Visuometry we can do with the Slit-Lamp. We always adjacent with the Slit-Lamp. Gonioscopy, yes. There are a lot of lenses, yes. FFN clinical photography, yes, through Slit-Lamp. Therapeutic, what do? We do epilation procedure in Slit-Lamp, foreign body removal in Slit-Lamp. Oh god, contact lens fitting, it's really Slit-Lamp. Corneal epithelial debridement, it's Slit-Lamp. Insertion of the punctal plug, it's Slit-Lamp. Yes, there is a lot of things that I've left, yes, but definitely these are the things we can do with Slit-Lamp. So now in conclusion, can you see this particular A picture? Yeah, what is this? Direct illumination, isn't it? And the B, can you see? It's particularly direct focal illumination, focal observation. C, isn't it retro illumination? Yes, is it retro illumination? C, what is C? Indirect focal illumination. Basically, C means indirect focal illumination, not from directly, but from indirectly. Here, posterior, and then obviously it's retro. And D, it's retro, isn't it? Yes. E, the angle of incidence and angle of this, what is it? Specular for the surface, definitely. F, can you see what is this? Sclerotic scatter, isn't it? Yes. This is a beautiful picture I have taken from the ophthalmic device, ophthalmology and optometry. This book is called. Okay. So I think that's it. Yes, I have always told you, just focus on my references. Try to get all this book. Yes, a lot of pictures taken from this book. This is very, very good stuff. And these three books are very good, but these two, this one and this one. Okay, these two books are very good. Okay, I think that's it. Bistan, choose.